In this video, we are going to see this question where we are going to print a number pattern and it should be right aligned. Which means that let's say a number 5 is printed, then we have to print something like this. 1 is printed one time, 2 is printed 2 times, 3 is printed 3 times, 4 4 times and 5 5 times, in that manner. So 5 is given, and that's why 1 through 5 all the numbers are printed that many times. But the thing is that all the numbers should be right aligned. Okay, it should not be left aligned. One another restriction is that this number n will only range from, so whatever is this n, this n will only range from 1 to 9. So nobody will tell you that it will be, so essentially it's just a single digit number, right? Because we don't want to get into the complication of multiple digit numbers. So it's plain and simple, 1 through 9. So if it is simply 1, then just 1 is printed and the width is just 1. If it is 2, then something like this is printed. If it is 3, then something like this is printed, right? And then 4 5 6 7 whatever 8, then you can see that something like this is printed. So this is what is expected. So now you can pause this video and you can try it yourself. This is a pretty simple question, because if you have earlier done that hollow diamond question, then this will be very much straightforward, one liner. But just pause the video and try on your own, and then we are going to discuss the solution. Yeah, so let's see, any number, let's say 4 is passed, and in solution, so that number n is 4. Let's print that to verify. And right now I'm not returning anything, so undefined will be returned. That should be fine. But the 4 is printed, that is fine. Now this 4 is passed, which means that we have to print something like this, right? 1, then 2 2, then 3 3 3, and 4 4 4, 4 4 4 4 4 times, right? And then it should be right aligned, so something like this. So this is what is expected to be printed, right? Now how do we go about it? So it's pretty straightforward, right? Simply have a for loop from 1 till n. That is all we want, right? So less than n, equal to n, that is all we want. And then every time what we have to do is that we have to print I. We have to print I, but I should be a string, right? So let's use a template literal. And then we are going to do a repeat, and that's why we converted it into a string, because that string character, whatever is created, that has to be repeated how many times? I times. Which means that if 1 is printed, then just 1 time, 2 2 times, 3 3 times. So this is essentially what is going to happen, right? So let's remove this for now. We know exactly what to print, and let's try that out. So you can see that 1 2 3 4. So the number counting is correct. It's just that it is left aligned. We have to do right aligned, right? Now how to do right aligned? We know that the maximum width which we have to maintain is 4 in this case, in general n, and I times printed, which means that essentially what we have to do, that left side we have to give a pad, and that pad thing should be what? That pad thing should be how many times? It should be n minus I times. So you can understand that a padding of n minus I is given, and then I times the character is printed, so that the overall n times should be there. Okay. And then again you could do the same thing using something like this also. So let's say rather than this, you are doing something like this, that yeah, this number is there, that is fine, but then I need to do a pad start, and that pad start means padding, and the padding character should be at the beginning, and the padding width should be n because that is the maximum one. And then you can use anything, right? So you can use, let's say, star also, but in this case we are going to have spaces, right? So that should be fine. Yeah, so that's it. Now we have seen that that right alignment has happened because of the pad start. So any both of them, anything you can use, but the idea is that you have to return a string. You don't have to print it, something like this. You have to return a string so that that can be used in the test case. So what we are going to do, we are going to have, let's say, answer is equal to this thing, and then you just have to take this part, right, and then you have to concatenate it with this, but every time you have to also add a new line, right? So slash n, and then return the answer. That should be it, right? Yeah, that should be it, but one small problem is there, that initially also there is one blank space, and that is because in the first row also new line is added, which means that this new line I have to only add from 2 onwards, not for 1. So yeah, there are many ways. You can do this first and then start the loop from 2. We are going to do something more simple. We can simply say that yeah, why if I is equal to 1, then I don't want to do this slash n. I just want to concatenate empty string, which means like nothing. Okay, so if you do the like that, then that initial slash n is gone. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We are getting that string and we are returning that string, right? So this should be fine. You can see that for 3 it should be as expected, for 7 it is as expected, right? So it should be fine. Now let's try that with our test case. Yeah, so let's see this test case. This test case, this is a public URL which I'll give in the video description. So you can see that for 135 whatever is the expectation, that is there. Now let's try this out in our case, and let's run this, and we will say that done, which means that there are no assertion errors, which means that all the solutions are as per the expectation. Yeah, so that will be all for this video.